everyone! So on my quest to like find some new content for my channel, I was thinking about how when I first set up my blog, I originally intended it to be like book themed with a little bit of film and stuff, and it ended up just being book themed because I didn't really have time for writing reviews on films and stuff. So I thought I would do a kind of filmish series on my channel where I would like do, so as you can see on from the title, it's called like movies I've been watching lately. Like, so I'll be doing this like once a month, so this is like the mid-June edition, so it covers May and like the beginning of June, and then the next one will be like the end of June, beginning of July. So yeah, so like movies, TV shows, all that kind of stuff that I like I don't talk about it much like on my blog and stuff, but I really enjoy like TV shows and like movies. And yeah, so I thought I would start with TV shows I've been watching. So over the course of like April, May, I was watching Great British Bake Off, because I never watched it when it was on the BBC, because I never really understood like the big fascination with it. Like I never watched it once, so I was kind of just like, I don't get it. But then they added it to Netflix, and I was just like, I'll give it a go, and I just couldn't stop watching it. I don't know why. I don't get it. But I just love it. Like the jokes between Paul and Mary and Sue and Mel are just like stellar. Some of the bakers are just so great. Like I absolutely adored James in season 3, and not just because he's Scottish, but he was just like, I love him. Yeah, there's just something about it. I also like that they throw little historical nips in with it, and I think it's really like interesting. I'm really sad that it's like, now that I finished it, because it's like I don't really want to watch the Channel 4 version, because like it's just not the same. It's like Bargain Basement. Like, yeah, it's got Paul Hollywood, but he's not my favourite. He's weird. Like, the one thing I didn't like about Bake Off was when Paul Hollywood like takes a bite of something and just stares at the contestant while he's eating it. Like, that's so fucking creepy. Like, I can't deal with that. And like, oh, and the noises they make is like, I feel like their mics are proper tuned in when they're like chewing, and all you hear is I hate that noise. I also watched Love Island season 1 on Netflix with my flatmate, and what a mess, what a disaster. Because now I'm watching the season that's currently on the telly, which I was never interested in Love Island before, and now I can't stop watching it. And I'm like, even though it's just so straight. Like, there's no queer people on it at all. There's apparently going to be this season, and like there's so far none, and I'm like, yo, queer baiting as heck. Yeah, it's one of the most ridiculous shows. Like, people like sticking people in a house for 8 weeks to try and get them to couple up. Like, who says anything's gonna work there? But for some reason some people do, and it's like weird. But yeah, for season, like I haven't watched any of the other seasons, it's just season 1. But Jess was definitely my favourite, and I'm glad she won. But like, Max, what a dickhead. Like, oh yeah, I like Jess, it like, make your bloody mind up, dude. But yeah, like there's something about Love Island that you just can't stop watching it. It's like, I feel like it's like when Big Brother was like a big thing, like way back in the day. Like, I watched, for Big Brother, like I wasn't really interested in the first few seasons, and then like I think it's season 6 I watched it avidly because I loved Nicky and Pete. So it feels kind of like that, like when Big Brother wasn't a played out mess. And then the past couple of days I have been finally watching season 5 Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because it's all completed, and like I'm a bit funny with things like that. Like, I hate waiting for the next week, especially because it's like I can't just watch it on the telly. Like, I don't mind if it's something that's on British telly and I can like watch it on the telly live, but I hate waiting for the next week and then having to torrent it, because I forget a lot of the time, and then I've got like 5 episodes to catch up on, and I don't have the time for it, and blah blah blah. So yeah, but yeah, I'm on episode 21, so 2 episodes left basically, and I've been absolutely loving it. Like, there's some so funny scenes, like the whole like I want it that way scene, the screaming with a guitar scene. That's all the memes come from the series, I feel, this season, I feel like. And oh my god, the bit I can't can't remember the name of the episode, but like the one where they're doing the bachelorette parties, and Hitchcock and Scully pretend to be Cookie and Lucius Lyon from Empire. What the fuck? I was like in hysterics. And I've just watched the episode where like Rose is in an active shooter situation. I was like crying. How does a show go from like laughing so much that you're gonna pee yourself to like crying your eyes out? Like, I don't get it. It's probably one of the best shows I've ever watched, and yes, there is a lot of fat shaming, so like be careful if that's something you're sensitive to. But there's so much other stuff in it that I just like I love. Like, there's so much talk about race and sexuality, and like I feel so validated watching it sometimes. Like when Rosa came out as bi, I was just like crying my eyes out because like everyone was just like, okay, like it's so good that we've got to a point where like on a TV show someone can come out on the TV show and the other characters are just so accepting of it. Like, I know that you've got Raymond Holt as their gay, like, what is he, like, no, he's not a sergeant, I can't remember what he's called, but like the guy who's like the boss of them all, and like he's a gay black guy and they're all very accepting of that. But I feel like having a bi character who is not a boss could have been something that could have not worked, if you know what I mean, on any other show. But on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, they're just, I love them so much. So as well as watching like British and American TV shows, I've also recently started watching K-dramas, which has been a thing I've been like, so like I love like Korean pop. I feel like if you know me, you know that like it's all it's all I listen to these days is Korean pop. Like Western music's so boring to me at the moment, apart from like things like George Ezra, Harry Styles, Dua Lipa, but like other stuff I'm just like eh. Whereas K-pop, I just like, there's something about it. I've loved it since 2011. But yeah, so like because of that, I've always been interested in K-dramas, because like a lot of pop stars star in the dramas and like it's part of like the Hallyu wave. But I've never really had the time for it because you watch it with subtitles, and I'm very much a person that's like, when I'm watching something, I like to have it on in the background and I'll go and watch it and then click on different tabs and then go back to it, and like I don't have the attention span for it, which is weird because I wouldn't say I like have attention deficit or anything like that, but like I just struggle with it sometimes. So with K-dramas, I feel like I didn't really have the time for it because like I've always been studying, so it's like when I was studying I was always watching shows in the background, so I still managed to watch them whilst doing my work for uni, whereas you can't do that with subtitled stuff. So like anime and K-drama and J-drama, all that kind of stuff, I couldn't watch it. So I recently asked my friends, I was like, can you give me some K-drama recs for some rom-coms, because I was really feeling like watching a rom-com, but the West just doesn't do rom-coms well anymore, like not like the 90s kind of stuff. Like I want to watch like Notting Hill, Four Weddings and a Funeral, like classic teen dramas from America, like so I was like, can you give me some K-drama recs for that? So I got Ret. So the first one I watched was Strong Woman Do Bong-soon, which is like one of the biggest K-dramas there's been in a long time, since like Reply 1988, which I watched like 14 episodes of and I couldn't be bothered with it after that. Like I enjoyed it, but it was too much. So Strong Woman is like about this girl who she's like, she has this like family like thing where she can like, she's really really strong, so like she can like kill a man with just her hands kind of thing, and she's like the cutest person ever, and like she gets a job working for the head of a gaming company as his bodyguard, and there's also a bunch of like serial kidnappings going on, and it's just like, I was just so encaptured by it. Like there's a bit racist at one point, and I kept skipping over those scenes because it's like a bit much, so just beware, there's like some racist Indian stuff in it. But apart from that, I absolutely adored the characters like Bong-soon, Guk-do. He's a dick, but also like I love him so much. And then Min-hyuk, is that his name? Her boss, anyway. I absolutely loved him. Like I loved that he was like he acted like how a girl would act in K-dramas. Like, he was so excited to be like friends with her and talking to her and like falling in love with her, and he was just like the most excitable little puppy, and like he was my absolute favourite character. Like, them as a couple, oh, I love them so much. So following finishing Strong Woman Dobonsun, I started watching Oh My Ghost because I was still in the mood for like a romantic comedy, and yeah, so it's got the same woman in it, so it was a bit jarring to begin with, and I didn't love it quite as much as Strong Woman because, like, I don't know, like the male lead, like, he was really nice, but he wasn't like the same, if you know, like, of course he's not the same, but like I didn't feel as affected about their like love pairing as I did in Strong Woman. However, like, I absolutely adored like the emotional stuff with like the ghost, like, because it's about a girl who gets taken over by a horny ghost basically, and like the ghost, she's like, she goes through much stuff whilst being in the body of the woman she's taken over, and it just like, it felt very effective. Like, there was times I was like crying, which I was like, when I told my friends, I was like, excuse me, I told you to recommend me a romantic comedy, this is not comedy, this is making me cry. But yeah, I need to find something as good as those two, because I've started watching Boys Over Flowers now, which is an absolute mess. Like, it's hilarious to watch because things just are just ridiculous. Like, at one point, the main guy's sister appears, and instead of just being like, hey brother, what are you doing, she like whips out a wooden sword and does a backflip and cartwheel and hits him on the arm. Who does that? It's fucking mental. So yeah, like, Boys Over Flowers is really entertaining for me because it's like stupid, so I'm just like sitting there like, what's going on? But it's not like on the level of Strong Woman or Oh My Ghost, so I need to... Okay, so I just filmed for like 15 minutes and it wasn't actually filming, so that was nice. I love iPhone cameras. Somehow I filmed a 50-minute long video the other week, but now I can't even film 15 minutes. But anyway, so I was talking about the films I have seen this month. So I only went to the cinema once, and I have a cinema card, so I should be going more than once a month, but I just haven't really found the time because I'm still kind of getting used to like the routine of my new job, like trying to like, because I'm quite tired in the evenings and stuff, so it's kind of hard going on the evenings, and then the weekends I just want to sleep, don't want to really go out and do much, so it's kind of like balancing everything. So yeah, but the film I saw was Infinity War, and I'd say it's kind of tied with the first Avengers for like how good it was. Like, Age of Ultron's like way down here, and then the other two were about here. But yeah, and like, it was enjoyable and I liked it, but there was a lot of problems I had with it, like, and like, I came out of it just sitting there going like, why was everyone so upset about this film? Like, yes, most of the cast are dead, but they're also not actually dead because they all have films coming out in the future, so it's like, the Guardians, like, how can you have Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with none of the Guardians? That makes no sense. So, of course, no one is actually dead. And I was kind of just sitting there like, is this it? Yeah. And, like, so, like, way to spoil your cliffhanger, Russo Brothers. Like, you can't have a cliffhanger when there's already all these films announced for all the characters. Like, you know they're not going to be dead. It doesn't make any sense to me. In terms of the film itself, I was kind of just a bit like, because like, I really loved Thor Ragnarok. Like, I absolutely adored that film. It's probably my favorite of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then probably Spider-Man: Homecoming, and then probably Black Panther, which is like basically all the films that have just come out recently. But yeah, so like, Thor Ragnarok did so much for Thor's character. Like, the character development is like on point. Like, he loses his hammer, doesn't know what to do with himself, and then realizes that his power is inside him and it's not just his hammer. And then in Infinity War, he has to go get a new hammer. I thought the power was inside of him. And then he loses his eye in Ragnarok, but gets a glass eye in Infinity War. So it's like, what was the fucking point? And then, and this is spoilers, but in Ragnarok, he gains his relationship back with Loki. And in Infinity War, Loki dies in the first 5 minutes. What? What are the Russo brothers doing? Why are they ruining Taika Waititi like this? Why? So yeah, like, I enjoyed it, but not my fave. And then I watched a couple movies on Netflix. So I watched The Kissing Booth, which is this really sweet, like, teen drama rom-com kind of thing. Kind of like the things you'd watch from, like, in the 2000s to mid-2000s, like Hilary Duff and Lindsay Lohan and stuff like that. Like, you know, like a classic, like, teen flick that just, like, you would always watch growing up. And, like, I haven't seen a film like that for a while, and this kind of hit it right on the head. Like, this hit the nail on the head for that, and I really liked it. Like, but it felt really modern as well, because it ends in a way that you're kind of like, there's a wee monologue from the main character just talking about how, like, yeah, they're still together, like, they're together, but they may not be in the future, and that's okay. And it was just nice. Like, it was nice to hear that from a teen girl, like, talking about the boy she's in a relationship with, like, appreciating that the relationship may end because they're teens and that's what happens. So yeah. And then I also watched Ibiza, which I watched because Richard Madden is in it and I absolutely adore him. He's from Paisley, which is like a 20-minute drive from me, but he doesn't have a Paisley accent. He has like a really nice Scottish accent, which really does things for me. Yeah. Like, the film itself was very odd. Like, there was so much more drug use in it than I was ever expecting, so be careful with that. Like, really bizarre. But what I really liked about it was, like, it wasn't just the main girl being all silly over the boy. Like, the boy was also being silly over the girl. It was like they were both as awkward as each other and as both as into it as each other, and it felt really nice to not just have a girl who was like, ah, and a boy who was like, eh, which is what is very common in, like, things like that. So yeah, like, it was okay. And then I watched We Love Simon again, because, you know, it's my fave, and it was really nice to, like, watch the little bits that I'd missed before, like the Ferris wheel scene. There was some bits I missed in the background of that, which I really liked. And Nick Robinson's acting is, like, on point. Like, he gets the frustration down so well, and his reactions of Simon so well, and it's, I loved it. Love it so much. And so, because I was like, I'd watched that, I was in the mood for watching more Nick Robinson, because I love Nick. And so I watched Everything, which I'm well aware is problematic, because it's like, it's about a girl who has a disease and it turns out she doesn't have a disease, so it's like really bad representation. But, like, I liked it when I first read it, because I read it before I realised that was a problem, and, like, it was an okay book if you set that aside. So I was like, I wanted to watch it, but I didn't want to go see, like, I didn't see it in the cinema because I didn't really have time in it. I think it was only on here for like 2 weeks, so I watched it on, I torrented it. Like, it was okay, it was fine, but it was so obvious how much Nick Robinson's acting has grown in a year. Like, if you look between Everything and Love, Simon, such a change in his, like, his style, and it made me appreciate Love, Simon even more. But yeah, like, film changed a couple things, and, like, there was some weird directorial decisions that I wasn't sure of. Like, instead of having them, like, sitting in each other's rooms texting each other, they had it, like, in her architectural designs, that they were, like, having a conversation in the rooms in her architectural designs instead of as the text conversations. So, like, it was like a metaphorical kind. It was very bizarre. I wouldn't watch it again, but it was fine. Like, I liked watching it at the time. So yeah. So yeah, if there are any, like, recommendations that you would like to give me based on shows I was watching that I enjoyed, or just you think I might like it, go ahead and leave me a comment. How do you feel about me doing this series? Do you think it might work? Because, like, I want to try some new stuff on my YouTube channel, as if I've been on this for a while. You know what I mean? Like, newer things in relation to, like, what I post online. So yeah, Follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Goodreads, as will be down below. I'm at Smeared Eyes, and my blog is kirstyreadsblog.wordpress.com. Oh, I started Weight Watchers this week, and I have lost 3.5 pounds since Monday, and it's now Saturday, and I'm really happy with that, because I'm just not happy with myself at the moment. Like, there's nothing wrong with being fat. There's like, you eat what you want, you be the weight that you want to be, but I'm not happy with the weight I am at the moment. So I thought I need to do something about it. I'm happy that I've lost some weight, and we'll see how it goes from now on. Yeah. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I hope you're having a good week. Bye! Yeah, yeah, you can. I'm your good time. I'll be your temporary fix. You can call me. Let me be your good night. Let me touch you where your heart is. So, Stormwind Do Bong Soon. Blah, blah, blah.